Welcome to Whisper Facts 101. Here is 101 fascinating facts about SummerSlam. SummerSlam, first held in 1988, was created by the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, to counter the rising popularity of rival promotions. Taking place at Madison Square Garden in New York City, the inaugural event aimed to capitalize on the success of WrestleMania by offering another summer spectacle. It quickly became one of WWE's Big Four events, standing alongside WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. The main event of the first SummerSlam featured an epic tag team match where Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, collectively known as the Mega Powers, took on the Mega Bucks, Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant. This bout was a culmination of major storylines from that era and was made even more iconic by the inclusion of Jesse the Body Ventura as a special guest referee. SummerSlam has earned the nickname the biggest party of the summer, and it has lived up to that title year after year by featuring some of the most dramatic moments in WWE history. From shocking betrayals to career-defining matches, the event is known for its ability to shift the course of storylines and reshape WWE's landscape heading into the fall. One of the most talked-about SummerSlam moments happened in 2002, when Shawn Michaels returned to the ring after a 4-year absence due to a back injury. Facing Triple H in a brutal, unsanctioned street fight, Michaels defied all expectations with his performance. The match was not only an emotional return for HBK, but also one of the best matches in SummerSlam history. Brock Lesnar has made his mark at SummerSlam like no other superstar. In 2014, he defeated John Cena in one of the most one-sided main events ever seen at the event, delivering 16 German suplexes in a single match. The bout shocked fans and symbolized a new era of dominance for Lesnar, who reclaimed the WWE Championship in devastating fashion. SummerSlam 1992 holds a special place in the hearts of many wrestling fans as it was held at London's Wembley Stadium, one of the few times a major WWE pay-per-view has been staged outside North America. The event drew over 80,000 fans, making it one of the largest crowds in WWE history, and was headlined by an unforgettable Intercontinental title match between Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. In 2005, the legend of Hulk Hogan collided with the rising stardom of Shawn Michaels in a highly anticipated dream match at SummerSlam. What made the match more infamous was Michaels' over-the-top selling of Hogan's offense, which many fans and experts interpreted as a protest against backstage disagreements. The match remains a polarizing but memorable moment in SummerSlam lore. The 2011 SummerSlam featured a dramatic twist when Triple H served as the special guest referee for a WWE Championship match between John Cena and CM Punk. Punk won a match, but the celebration was short-lived as Kevin Nash suddenly returned and attacked Punk, allowing Alberto Del Rio to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. The sequence left fans stunned and dramatically altered the championship picture. Edge's return to action at SummerSlam 2020 was another emotional high point. After retiring in 2011 due to serious neck issues, he made his shocking return at the 2020 Royal Rumble, but it was at SummerSlam where he cemented his comeback by competing in a full-scale, high-profile match. His return inspired both older and newer fans and reminded the world of his Hall of Fame talent. SummerSlam has often been used as a launching pad for future stars. One notable example is The Rock, who had his first major singles pay-per-view match at SummerSlam 1998 against Triple H in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Although The Rock lost, his charisma and performance that night helped catapult him into the main event scene and eventually Hollywood superstardom. At SummerSlam 1991, WWE introduced the real-life wedding of Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth as part of the storyline. Billed as a match made in heaven, it was one of the few times WWE incorporated a legitimate marriage ceremony into a major event. Though the wedding itself was not an actual match, it was a central attraction and provided a heartfelt moment for fans worldwide. SummerSlam 1997 saw one of the most controversial finishes in the event's history. During a match between Bret Hart and The Undertaker for the WWF Championship, special guest referee Shawn Michaels accidentally struck The Undertaker with a steel chair, costing him match. This incident sparked the beginning of a heated feud between Michaels and The Undertaker that would culminate in the first-ever Hell in a Cell match. The 2016 SummerSlam was historic for being the first WWE pay-per-view to feature a Universal Championship match. Finn Balor faced off against Seth Rollins to become the inaugural Universal Champion. Though Balor won and made history, he had to relinquish the title the following night due to a shoulder injury sustained during the match. His short reign remains a bittersweet chapter in SummerSlam lore. SummerSlam has also been a major platform for The Undertaker, who has had memorable matches at the event spanning decades. One notable instance was in 2008, when he faced Edge in a Hell in a Cell match that was the culmination of a months-long rivalry. The match was brutal, symbolic, and marked the definitive end of their feud, adding another classic to The Undertaker's legendary resume. In 2010, SummerSlam became the battleground for WWE versus The Nexus, a group of rebellious rookies from the reality show NXT. The main event featured Team WWE, led by John Cena, against The Nexus. Although Team WWE emerged victorious, critics have often debated whether The Nexus should have won to establish themselves as legitimate threats. The loss was seen by many as the beginning of their decline. SummerSlam 2000 delivered one of the most chaotic and entertaining matches in event history, with a tables, ladders, and chairs TLC match featuring the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian. The high-risk bout pushed physical boundaries and redefined what tag team wrestling could be. The match was so influential that it became a staple gimmick for future WWE events. In 2013, SummerSlam was the stage for what many consider one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time: John Cena versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. Bryan won cleanly in an emotional victory, only for Triple H to betray him with a pedigree, allowing Randy Orton to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. The shocking twist ignited the Yes movement that culminated at WrestleMania XXX. SummerSlam 1994 was headlined by a steel cage match between brothers Bret Hart and Owen Hart for the WWF Championship. The match is often remembered as one of the best cage matches in WWE history due to its technical brilliance and emotional storytelling. The family dynamic, high drama, and clean finish helped solidify Bret's title reign and further elevated Owen as a top-tier competitor. The 2019 edition of SummerSlam marked the first time The Fiend Bray Wyatt appeared in a match under his new persona. Facing Finn Balor, The Fiend's eerie entrance, demonic mask, and chilling demeanor captivated audiences and instantly made an impression. His performance was so powerful and visually striking that it redefined Wyatt's career trajectory and gave WWE a fresh horror-themed character unlike any other. SummerSlam has often been the proving ground for returning legends. In 2012, Brock Lesnar wrestled his first match at the event since returning from UFC, facing Triple H in a brutal, no-holds-barred contest. The bout ended with Lesnar breaking Triple H's arm, a symbolic way of reintroducing Lesnar as a dangerous force in WWE. It was a key moment that helped solidify his second run as a dominant presence. SummerSlam 1993 was notable not just for its matches, but for the heavy promotional campaign around Lex Luger, who would become WWE's new All-American hero following Hulk Hogan's departure. WWE set up the Lex Express bus tour across the U.S., culminating in Luger facing Yokozuna for the WWF Championship. While he won the match by count-out, he didn't win the title, leaving fans somewhat deflated despite the patriotic build-up. One of the most unexpected moments in SummerSlam history occurred in 2004, when Randy Orton defeated Chris Benoit to win the World Heavyweight Championship. At just 24 years old, Orton became the youngest world champion in WWE history at that time. The match was also significant because it marked the beginning of Orton's rise as a central figure in the company and the first major push for Evolution's dominance. SummerSlam 2006 featured the bizarre and highly personal feud between Hulk Hogan and Randy Orton, promoted as Legend vs. Legend Killer. Hogan, long past his prime, managed to eke out a win over Orton, continuing his tradition of winning at major events. The match is remembered not for its technical excellence, but for the generational clash and the spotlight it gave to Orton as a rising antagonist. In 2009, the WWE Universe witnessed one of the most unique debuts at SummerSlam when Jeff Hardy defended his World Heavyweight Championship in a TLC match against CM Punk. After Punk won, The Undertaker suddenly appeared, lying in place of Hardy when the lights came back on. The visual surprise created a memorable post-match twist and set up the next major feud heading into fall. SummerSlam has often been the site of significant character turns, and 2018 was no exception when Becky Lynch attacked Charlotte Flair following their triple threat match, which also included Carmella. The crowd, however, cheered Becky's attack, which was meant to be a heel turn. WWE ultimately leaned into the fan support, leading to Becky's transformation into the Man, one of the most popular characters in modern WWE history. The 2001 SummerSlam was a crucial chapter in the Invasion storyline where WWE battled with the Alliance, composed of former WCW and ECW wrestlers. The main event featured The Rock returning to defeat Booker T for the WCW Championship. This cross-promotional feud was chaotic and controversial, but it showcased the transitional period WWE was undergoing after buying out its former competitors earlier that year. One of the most violent and chaotic matches in SummerSlam history took place in 2001 between Steve Austin and Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship. The match was intensely physical and ended in a disqualification after Austin attacked several referees. Though unsatisfying in terms of resolution, the match showed Angle's toughness and furthered Austin's heel persona during his rebellious, paranoid character arc. SummerSlam 2020 was unique in that it was held without a live audience due to the COVID-19 pandemic. WWE created the Thunderdome, a virtual fan experience with LED screens and artificial crowd noise. This innovation allowed WWE to continue producing live content despite global restrictions and set a new precedent for how wrestling events could be conducted under unprecedented circumstances. SummerSlam 2015 was built around a high-profile rematch between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Their controversial WrestleMania XXX match had ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak, so anticipation was sky-high. The bout at SummerSlam ended in even more controversy when The Undertaker made Lesnar pass out in a Hell's Gate submission, despite Lesnar appearing to win moments earlier. The finish fueled ongoing debate and extended their rivalry. At the 2021 edition of SummerSlam, Roman Reigns successfully defended his Universal Championship against John Cena in a highly anticipated main event. However, the biggest shock came after the match when Brock Lesnar returned with a completely new look, including a man bun and beard. His surprise return reignited their long-running rivalry and thrilled fans, adding new depth to the evolving tribal chief character of Reigns. SummerSlam 1995 is often cited as one of the weaker editions of the event, but it still featured a unique main event between Diesel and King Mabel for the WWF Championship. What made it stand out wasn't the match quality, which was criticized, but the fact that WWE attempted to push Mabel, a 500-pound wrestler, as a serious main event threat. It was a bold move that ultimately didn't resonate with the audience and marked the beginning of the end for Mabel's main event push. The Intercontinental Championship has frequently been a highlight of SummerSlam cards, and one of its best showings came in 1998 when The Rock faced Triple H in a ladder match. This was a career-defining bout for both men, as they transitioned from mid-card stars to future main event icons. The intensity, crowd engagement, and athleticism turned a secondary title match into the highlight of the night. SummerSlam 2003 saw one of the most chaotic elimination chamber matches in WWE history. Held for the World Heavyweight Championship, the match included Triple H, Goldberg, Chris Jericho, Kevin Nash, Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels. Although Goldberg dominated the match and looked poised to win, Triple H retained the title with help from a sledgehammer, adding another chapter to his reign of terror during the Evolution era. The Women's Revolution in WWE gained major momentum at SummerSlam 2016 when Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair faced off for the WWE Women's Championship. Though Sasha had won the title just weeks earlier, Charlotte regained it in a match that pushed boundaries for women's wrestling on a grand stage. The physicality, drama, and risk-taking in this bout signaled that women's wrestling had firmly earned its place in the main event picture. At SummerSlam 2007, the feud between Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero reached its boiling point. Mysterio had been off television for nearly a year due to injury, and his return match was a dramatic spectacle. Painted entirely in silver to represent his rebirth, Rey not only defeated Chavo, but showcased the kind of high-flying action that had made him one of the most beloved stars of his generation. SummerSlam 2014 saw the rise of Stephanie McMahon as an in-ring performer once again. She wrestled Brie Bella. What began as a storyline rooted in power dynamics and family drama culminated in a match that exceeded expectations. Stephanie, despite not being a full-time wrestler, delivered a solid performance with unexpected help from Nikki Bella, who turned on her sister. The shocking betrayal stole headlines and fueled the Bella Twins feud. One of the most gruesome SummerSlam moments came in 2016 during the match between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. The bout ended via TKO after Lesnar delivered a series of elbows to Orton's head, causing a real-life gash that left Orton bleeding profusely. The finish shocked the crowd and sparked rumors about whether it was planned or improvised. Either way, it remains one of the most brutal moments in SummerSlam history. SummerSlam 1996 introduced a main event that was more psychological than physical as Shawn Michaels defended the WWF Championship against Vader. The match is remembered for its behind-the-scenes drama as Michaels reportedly became frustrated with Vader during the bout, visibly scolding him in the ring. Despite the tension, the match showcased Michaels' athleticism and reinforced his status as a top-tier performer in a transitional era for WWE. SummerSlam 1989 was significant because it featured the in-ring debut of Zeus, a fictional character from the movie No Holds Barred, played by actor Tiny Lister. WWE blurred the lines between fiction and reality by bringing Zeus into the ring to feud with Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake. Though Zeus wasn't a trained wrestler, the novelty of his presence added a bizarre but memorable twist to the event. The return of Trish Stratus at SummerSlam 2019 in her hometown of Toronto was a heartfelt moment for longtime fans. Facing Charlotte Flair in what was billed as her final match, Trish delivered an emotional and surprisingly competitive performance. Although she lost, her ability to keep up with a top-tier modern talent proved why she's regarded as a legend in women's wrestling and gave fans a fitting farewell. SummerSlam 2008 featured a memorable WWE Championship match between Edge and The Undertaker. Edge, the ultimate opportunist, was a master of exploiting any advantage, and his heel tactics helped him retain the title. The match's dramatic storytelling and high stakes made it one of the defining moments of Edge's career and helped solidify his reputation as one of WWE's top villains. The 2012 SummerSlam marked Daniel Bryan's first WWE Championship victory, defeating CM Punk in an emotionally charged match. Bryan's win was significant because it symbolized the triumph of the underdog, a theme that resonated deeply with fans. However, his reign was short-lived due to interference by The Shield, setting the stage for a new era of wrestling alliances and rivalries. SummerSlam 2017 was notable for Brock Lesnar's brutal destruction of Braun Strowman in the main event. Lesnar's dominance was shocking as he dispatched Strowman with ease, including multiple German suplexes and an F5. The match showed the sheer physicality and unpredictability that Lesnar brought to WWE, further cementing his status as an unstoppable force. The 1990 SummerSlam featured a six-man tag team match with The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and Randy Savage taking on the Twin Towers Akeem and Big Boss Man and the Mountie. The event was a showcase of star power, combining the energy of top faces against some of the era's biggest heels, and represented the larger-than-life style of 90s wrestling. SummerSlam 2015's main event between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker was especially intense because it was a rematch following the end of The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak. The match was brutal and featured Lesnar applying the Kimura lock submission, forcing The Undertaker to tap out for the first time in WWE history. This moment further defined Lesnar's dominant reign. SummerSlam 2003 is remembered for the debut of the WWE Tag Team Championships Unforgiven match type, where Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio defended their titles against Los Guerreros. This match showcased innovative tag team wrestling and high-flying maneuvers that captivated fans and pushed tag team competition to new heights in WWE. At SummerSlam 2010, the triple threat match for the WWE Championship featured Randy Orton defending against Sheamus and John Cena. The bout was hard-fought, with high drama and momentum shifts, but Orton managed to retain his title. The match demonstrated Orton's ability to perform under pressure and remain at the top during a competitive era. SummerSlam 1992's Intercontinental Championship ladder match between Shawn Michaels and Rick Martel was the first-ever ladder match in WWE history at a pay-per-view event. This match set the template for future ladder matches by combining athleticism and high-risk spots, and helped elevate Michaels to superstardom as the Heartbreak Kid. SummerSlam 2013's World Heavyweight Championship match between Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler was a fast-paced contest that featured impressive technical wrestling and storytelling. Though Del Rio retained the title, Ziggler's performance was praised for his athleticism and charisma, helping him build momentum as a future main eventer. SummerSlam 2014 also featured the return of Sting, who faced Seth Rollins in a high-profile match. Sting's arrival was significant because he had been one of WWE's biggest missing legends, and his appearance at SummerSlam was highly anticipated by fans. Though Rollins retained the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Sting's return marked a new chapter for the company. SummerSlam 1996 was the stage for the infamous Pillman's Got a Gun storyline involving Brian Pillman, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Goldust. This edgy and controversial storyline blurred the lines between fiction and reality, incorporating a real firearm into the scripted drama. The segment shocked fans with its intensity and helped elevate Austin's rising anti-hero persona. The 2007 SummerSlam main event featured John Cena defending his WWE Championship against Randy Orton in a highly physical and emotionally charged match. The rivalry between these two stars was one of the most intense of the era, fueled by personal animosity and competitive spirit. Cena retained the title, continuing his dominant run as the face of WWE. SummerSlam 2004 saw Eddie Guerrero defend his WWE Championship against JBL in a brutal and dramatic match. Guerrero's combination of technical skill and charisma won over the crowd, but JBL's vicious tactics kept the suspense high. The match was pivotal in Guerrero's career and showcased his ability to thrive under pressure in high-stakes situations. The 2018 SummerSlam featured the first-ever women's tag team match on a major WWE pay-per-view, where Sasha Banks and Bayley teamed up against the Riot Squad. This historic bout marked a milestone in WWE's women's revolution, reflecting the company's commitment to giving women more opportunities to showcase their athleticism on big stages. SummerSlam 1999 was highlighted by a ladder match for the WWF Tag Team Championship between Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys. This high-risk, fast-paced encounter pushed the boundaries of tag team wrestling and is still considered one of the most influential matches in WWE history, helping launch all four competitors into superstardom. At SummerSlam 2011, CM Punk defended the WWE Championship against John Cena in a match that was steeped in personal rivalry and storyline tension. Punk's victory was notable for his arrogant persona and the ongoing battle for dominance between the two top faces of the company, symbolizing the shifting power dynamics within WWE. SummerSlam 2019 marked the first time that Kofi Kingston defended the WWE Championship at the event, defending against Dolph Ziggler. This match was part of Kofi's historic run as WWE Champion, which was celebrated as a major breakthrough for African-American wrestlers in WWE, breaking long-standing barriers and inspiring fans worldwide. The 1994 SummerSlam saw a rare tag team main event where Shawn Michaels and Diesel defended the WWF Tag Team Championship against Razor Ramon and Scott Hall. This match featured some of the most popular stars of the era, and was a key moment in the early 1990s as WWE transitioned toward the new generation era. SummerSlam 2000 included a memorable I Quit match between The Rock and Triple H. The brutal match ended with The Rock victorious after intense back-and-forth action. The bout was praised for its storytelling, intensity, and the fierce rivalry between two of WWE's biggest stars at the time. In 2017, SummerSlam featured an incredible match between AJ Styles and John Cena for the WWE Championship. The bout was a technical masterpiece, with both men showcasing their skills and resilience. AJ Styles' victory was a major milestone in his career, cementing him as a top star and proving his place among WWE's elite. SummerSlam 1991 is remembered for the moment when Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage teamed up with Hulk Hogan to defeat a team of villains in a six-man tag match. This event marked one of the last times these three megastars shared the ring together in a major match. The clash symbolized the peak of WWE's star-driven storytelling during that era, combining fan favorites for a feel-good spectacle. In 2010, SummerSlam hosted a memorable WWE Championship triple threat match between John Cena, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. The contest was filled with intense back-and-forth action, showcasing each competitor's unique fighting style. Despite the competition, Randy Orton managed to retain his title, further cementing his reputation as a resilient and cunning champion amid fierce rivals. SummerSlam 2018 is notable for Becky Lynch's epic victory over Charlotte Flair and Carmella in a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Lynch's performance was a defining moment in her career, showcasing her toughness, charisma, and determination. The match's result was celebrated as a shift in women's wrestling, propelling Becky toward becoming the man. At SummerSlam 1997, the infamous Montreal Screwjob storyline had ripples in the main event where Bret Hart defended the WWF Championship against The Undertaker. The match was filled with tension and uncertainty, as Bret was in his final days with WWE before jumping to WCW. The atmosphere was thick with real-life drama, adding layers to the already intense contest. SummerSlam 2005 featured a clash between Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels in a match that pitted two eras of wrestling greatness against each other. Despite mixed reviews, the bout was heavily anticipated due to the legend's reputations and long-standing influence on the industry. Michaels' exaggerated selling in the match was interpreted as a form of protest, making it a highly discussed moment. The 2013 SummerSlam had a memorable WWE Championship match where Daniel Bryan faced John Cena. Bryan emerged victorious, captivating fans with his technical skills and underdog spirit. The win was seen as a reward for Bryan's hard work and growing popularity, and it ignited the Yes Movement, a fan-led campaign supporting his rise. SummerSlam 2016 marked a turning point in the career of Sasha Banks when she faced Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. Their match was a physical and emotional roller coaster, elevating the status of women's wrestling within WWE. Both performers showcased their talents in a contest that was praised for its storytelling and athleticism. In 1993, SummerSlam featured a main event that showcased Lex Luger's intense rivalry with Yokozuna. The match was heavily promoted as a patriotic battle, with Luger carrying the hopes of American fans. Although the bout ended in a countout, the event was significant for its attempt to establish Luger as a top star during a transitional phase for WWE. SummerSlam 2002 introduced the WWE's first-ever Universal Championship match when Finn Balor defeated Seth Rollins. The match was highly anticipated and Balor's victory was historic, but unfortunately, he was forced to relinquish the title shortly after due to injury. Despite this, the event highlighted WWE's expansion and adaptation in the post-Attitude Era landscape. The 1998 SummerSlam featured an iconic ladder match between The Rock and Triple H for the Intercontinental Championship. The match elevated both competitors' profiles and helped establish them as future main event stars. The intense competition and high-risk maneuvers captivated the audience and remain a benchmark for ladder matches in wrestling history. SummerSlam 2006 was notable for the WWE Championship match where John Cena faced off against Rob Van Dam. RVD was the reigning champion heading into the event, and the match was highly anticipated due to their contrasting styles, Cena's power and charisma versus RVD's high-flying agility. Cena ultimately regained the title, marking a significant moment in his career trajectory. The 1999 SummerSlam featured a memorable encounter between Mankind and Triple H for the WWF Championship. This match was highly physical and showcased the brutal, edgy style that defined WWE's Attitude Era. Despite interference and chaos, Triple H retained the championship, continuing his reign as a dominant heel and setting up further intense rivalries. SummerSlam 2017 showcased a brutal and dominant Brock Lesnar defeating Braun Strowman in the main event. Lesnar's relentless offense, including numerous German suplexes and his finishing move, the F5, left Strowman devastated. The match reinforced Lesnar's reputation as an unstoppable beast and set up further high-profile feuds for both men in the following months. The 2011 SummerSlam featured a WWE Championship match between CM Punk and John Cena that was steeped in personal rivalry and storytelling. Punk's confident and arrogant demeanor clashed with Cena's status as the company's top babyface, creating a compelling narrative that captivated audiences. Punk emerged victorious, solidifying his place at the top of WWE. At SummerSlam 2000, highly intense I Quit match took place between The Rock and Triple H. This match was filled with dramatic moments, high stakes, and fierce competition. The Rock emerged victorious after forcing Triple H to say, "I quit," a moment that underscored the bitter rivalry and set the stage for future confrontations. SummerSlam 1994 was headlined by a steel cage match between Bret Hart and Owen Hart for the WWF Championship. This emotionally charged bout highlighted the real-life brotherly tension and showcased technical wrestling skills. The match is often cited as one of the best steel cage matches in WWE history and a defining moment for both wrestlers. The 2014 SummerSlam saw Seth Rollins defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against John Cena in a hard-hitting contest. Rollins' athleticism and cunning allowed him to retain the title despite Cena's resilience and determination. The match was praised for its pacing, storytelling, and the chemistry between the two performers. SummerSlam 1989 was notable for introducing Zeus, a character played by actor Tiny Lister from the movie No Holds Barred. WWE blurred reality and fiction by integrating Zeus into a feud with Hulk Hogan, making the event feel like a live-action wrestling movie. Although Zeus wasn't a trained wrestler, the storyline added an unusual twist to the SummerSlam narrative. SummerSlam 2015 marked a controversial moment when Brock Lesnar faced The Undertaker. The match was intense, with Lesnar ultimately forcing The Undertaker to tap out to the Kimura lock submission. This was the first time The Undertaker had ever submitted in WWE, shocking fans and altering the perception of Lesnar's dominance. The 2019 SummerSlam featured Kofi Kingston defending the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler. This match was part of Kofi's historic championship reign, celebrated for breaking barriers as he became one of the first African-American WWE champions. The event was a milestone for representation and highlighted Kingston's charisma and skill in the ring. SummerSlam 1990 featured a tag team main event with the Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage teaming with Hulk Hogan against the Twin Towers and the Mountie. This match symbolized the larger-than-life personas and alliances that defined WWE's early 90s storytelling, combining star power and patriotic themes to captivate a broad audience during the summer wrestling event. At SummerSlam 2001, WWE presented the highly anticipated match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship. The bout was filled with intense physicality and showcased Austin's rebellious anti-hero persona against Angle's technical mastery. Though the match ended in disqualification, it highlighted the fierce competition and evolving storylines of WWE's Attitude Era. The 2013 SummerSlam was notable for Daniel Bryan's WWE Championship win over John Cena, an outcome that energized fans and sparked the Yes Movement. Bryan's victory was a crowning achievement for the underdog wrestler and a symbol of fan influence in WWE storytelling. The event set the stage for Bryan's continued rise as a beloved main event star. SummerSlam 1998 featured a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship between The Rock and Triple H. This intense, high-risk contest showcased both competitors' athleticism and charisma, helping solidify their future as main event players. The match is often cited as one of the best ladder matches in WWE history, an important milestone in both men's careers. The 2005 SummerSlam pitted Hulk Hogan against Shawn Michaels in a dream match that crossed generations. Despite mixed reviews, the bout was highly anticipated and showcased contrasting styles between the two legends. Michaels' exaggerated selling of Hogan's offense during the match was viewed by many as a protest, adding a layer of backstage intrigue to the event. SummerSlam 2009 saw Jeff Hardy defend the World Heavyweight Championship in a TLC match against CM Punk. After Punk won, The Undertaker made a surprise appearance by lying in Hardy's place, creating a shocking visual moment that energized the crowd. This twist set up a new storyline and added suspense to the event's conclusion. In 2016, SummerSlam featured a historic women's championship match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. Their bout was a testament to the women's revolution, combining athleticism, storytelling, and emotional intensity. The match helped elevate women's wrestling in WWE and proved that female wrestlers could deliver show-stealing performances on major stages. SummerSlam 2012 was marked by Daniel Bryan's first WWE Championship victory in a match against CM Punk. The emotional win symbolized Bryan's underdog triumph and resonated deeply with fans, solidifying his status as a top WWE star. The storyline developments following the event added to its importance in WWE history. The 2010 SummerSlam featured a triple threat match for the WWE Championship where Randy Orton defended against John Cena and Sheamus. The contest was filled with momentum swings and showcased the competitive nature of the era. Orton's successful title defense further established him as a cunning and resilient champion. SummerSlam 1997's match between Bret Hart and The Undertaker featured special guest referee Shawn Michaels, whose accidental chair shot cost The Undertaker the WWF Championship. This moment intensified the real-life and storyline tension between Michaels and The Undertaker, setting up future high-profile feuds and contributing to one of the most dramatic periods in WWE history.